Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Aaron220. I'm bringing you guys my MPL Week 4 game. We're fighting off again versus MysticUmbreon because we fought up against him Week 1 when we had Uzi's team. Now that we have our own team, we fight him on our own schedule. I'm going to get quickly into the team. Sorry this is late upload, by the way. A lot of stuff happened and I couldn't really help it. But anyway, so in the actual game, a little side note, we're on Showdown. Obviously, that's why the builder's in Showdown. That was because we had, I think, 3 disconnects, either 2 or 3, I forget how many, when we were playing this game. And there was really bad weather on my end. I'm not sure about Mystic's end, but I know it was on stream and he disconnected the first time. I disconnected the second time. I think there was a third time, but I can't remember. So we decided we just do it on Showdown. Also in the replay on Showdown, we both had lost one of our Mons. He lost his Venusaur to my Mandibus critting through it. It was a cursed Venusaur, so that thing almost actually tore through my team. And I lost my Jirachi due to not getting any flinches versus the Rotom. So ultimately, we decided we'd just go in 5v5 and just try and recreate as best as possible. Sadly, we didn't just recreate it because that sort of messed up a little bit, and I'll get into that when it gets to it. But I figured that's just an important detail, and I don't want to forget to mention it. So anyway, since you see the Rachi, it's not overly important, I guess, the Rachi spread, because it died and it literally didn't do anything, and you won't see it in the game. But something to note, as you see, I brought an AV Jirachi with Healing Wish. This is originally a Scarf Jirachi, and I had a different set for it. However, at last second, I decided I was going to run an AV, recalc my spread, and forgot to take out Healing Wish. So that was fun. Now the 5 that matter. First up, we got Mudsdale with a Rest Talk set, and I have Stealth Rock, Earthquake, Rest, and Toxic. Not even Rest Talk, I guess. Resto Chesto is the more appropriate term, mainly just for things such as Entei and Tyranitar, as I don't have a need to just run like a really reliable physical wall, but a Mon that can just lightly check physical Mons, I guess, because his team is so special. It's ridiculous how especially offensive teams. So that's the main reason behind the Mudsdale set. I didn't really need any attack investment to beat Entei 1v1, as long as I can get my defense boosted. Next up, we have a Rock Polish Terrakion with Close Combat, Swords Dance, Rock Polish, and Earthquake. The investment is mainly just, I have the 172 attack. This guarantees to KO everything on the team besides Venusaur. But no, +2, this guarantees to OHKO everything. That was Horde's point is to KO, same thing. Besides Venusaur, because even at max stack, I wasn't going to be able to OHKO it at +2. So I figured that it wasn't overly worth it. So I also have other answers, or I had other answers to what I thought was going to be the more likely Venusaur spread, such as Jirachi, for example. And also had the Curselax, but we'll get into Curselax in a moment. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I didn't need any speed investment, or at least I didn't think I did, because at +2 speed, if I got a Rock Polish set up, I sort of plowed through his team anyway. And if I had a Tailwind up from Mana Buzz, I plowed through his team anyway. Next up, I have Snorlax with a Curse set with Figgy Berry, Recycle, and I also have Curse, of course, and Earthquake, and Return. I brought an Immunity Snorlax mainly just because I didn't want to get Toxic stalled. I went Max Speed F because at +1, I chew through any hit anyway on the physical end, and I do enough physical damage anyway to the point where I don't really need attack investment. So I just ran Max Speed F, mainly for like Mega Zan, I guess, in Psychic Terrain, and also Lele. So that was really it to Snorlax. Mandibuzz, I brought Tailwind, Roost, Foul Play, Defog, mainly as a backup for things such as Haxorus, as Haxorus was very problematic in Mon last time, though obviously different matchup, different scenario, etc., etc. I just know that he really likes Haxorus, so I figured that it would be fairly useful. So, Defog is also to clear hazards, Tailwind is a backup in case I can't set up Rock Polish with Terrakion, Roost, of course, is for Roost, and Foul Play, I already mentioned. And finally here, we have a Selgor, and I brought the Bugginium Z, mainly just because he doesn't have great switch-ins to anything. I brought Bug Buzz, U-Turn, Spikes, and Hidden Power Ground. Hidden Power Ground was for the Garbodor, and also the Entei, and everything else got hit badly. Well, not badly. It got hit for solid damage, but took a lot of damage. That's what I meant by badly, with the Bugginium Z. So side note, a couple things. I know I mentioned that I redid the match. I'll actually hop in real quick right now. But a couple things of note, as you can see, 5v5. So one thing that could not get recreated because of this was the Bugginium Z damage. Originally that hit the Rotom. Actually, I guess that could have been recreated. It just didn't get recreated as far as I'm aware onto the Garbodor. Another thing that was sort of an upset because of having to do it this way was Rotom didn't have an accurate way to get chipped to where it was. There was other things such as he didn't even, actually we both sort of forgot, and I didn't realize it until like that point in the game, but I didn't get the chip that I needed to on the Garbodor, which was fairly big, nor did he get a spike up. At least I don't think he got, actually no, I think in this replay he got the spike up. I know in the second one he didn't. And not only that, but my Snorlax also did not end up getting chipped at all, whereas it was fairly low because of the Venusaur matchup, that I had a mirror matchup with that. So those are all the important notes I feel like that sort of got messed up because of this. As it wasn't a perfect recreation, but we sort of just went with it, I guess. But anyway, so I decided I'm going to lead off with the Selgor as he lives with the Rotom. I just want to spam bugging him. I figured that it didn't really matter what it hit, as he didn't have the Venusaur, which is what I brought it for originally. And he didn't have T-Tar either. I got Rotom low enough to the point where it was, after I switched out, it would have gotten to where it needed to be. He brings in his Comfey here, and I decide that I am actually going to go for a Toxic on the Comfey, as he goes for Leechy. This was part of the recreation, but I also did it in the same game anyway, so it didn't overly matter. So here I decide I'm just going to try an Earthquake spam versus the Comfey, as he decides he's going to go for Calm Minds. And he is going to try and get some HP back, of course, with Leech Seed, and then try and whittle me down with Draining Kiss. And there are some weird plays with this, just to get Comfey back to where it was, and to also get Mudsail to where it was. So this is a little bit, obviously the crit there, that mattered a lot, as he would have been able to stay in one more turn had he not gotten crit. And that kind of sucked, but I ended up going for a rest here. It didn't end up mattering too much, as if anything it actually helped that I went for rest here, because Rotom got back to the HP standard it needs to be at because of the seeds. I got Mudsail to burn its Chesto like I need to, and he just needed to, at this point, just get enough chip on my Mudsail. So at this point I do have to switch back into my Mudsail for recreation purposes and just let him chip me off with Draining Kiss. And I believe I let him get off one more Draining Kiss just to get me to around where I was, because it was around the halfway mark in the game. So I believe I just click a Toxic here if I'm not mistaken. I know it was, the point is I let him get a free hit. That was the main purpose of this. So I let him get, yeah, I clicked Toxic. I was gonna say, point is free hit. So I got back to around where I was, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. No, I let him go for one more. That's right, because I remember it was like right below half. And I didn't mind because Mudsail wasn't overly important to this point in the game anyway. So the only thing left at this point was just getting the chip on Garbodor. So actually, never mind. I think from here I Curse-Laxed at this point, because right when we disconnected, it was Rotom v Snorlax, which is why that play happened. So I forgot what the original mons were, but all I remember was that he had Rotom and I had Snorlax switching in from something else. And then I just start spamming curses, as this is where the initial not getting enough chip on Snorlax happened, because otherwise I would have probably been in Hydro Pump range, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. At this point, he's just trying to snatch me, and of course I dodged the Hydro Pump, which is unfortunate, but it doesn't matter because I kill off the Rotom, and I don't overly feel that bad because I just want to kill shit at this point. So at this point in the game, I feel like I probably have won. I decided I'm going to let him get off the Spike, just because that happened in the other game. I figured that was fair, since I thought at this point I essentially just swept. I didn't really think that there was any chance. So he does actually put me into range of getting my Figgy Berry, which is nice because of the helmet. And I decide here that I can just go for a recycle, get my Figgy Berry back. He actually goes for the Toxic here. I don't know why he did that when it said that the status failed because of immunity, but I just kill him off anyway. I didn't go for Earthquake. So he is now down 2 of his mons, and at this point, as I said, I think I've won until this turn happens, and I realize that he is Z-Move Haxorus. So Z-Move Haxorus does in fact obviously kill our Snorlax for obvious reasons, because he's the Outrage, which was very unfortunate. However, it doesn't suck too much. He does get up a Dragonade here though, which kind of sucks. However, I am able to luckily get off a Toxic on this Haxorus. I figured that he definitely did go for Dragonades there. There was no way he didn't. And that meant that I can just go for the Toxic and just let it whittle itself down while it tries to kill me off, and then potentially bring in something to revenge it. So he's now Toxic. So I bring in my Mandibuzz here. I figured I can try and get him to click Outrage or switch out, and I can just go for Foul Plays. He, of course, brings in his Comfey. Very solid switch on his part, and I can't really touch this thing because it's already poisoned anyway, and it could just set up Calm Minds on me. However, he actually decides to go for Draining Kiss. Obviously, solid play. It ends up getting damage off of me and gets him HP back. But I was surprised he didn't set up Calm Minds first. And I bring in a Selgor here because I figured that I might as well just try and sack this thing and then see if I can bring a Terrakion and set up and sweep. But he decides he's going to go for Leech Seed and obviously misses the Leech Seed, which means he's going to probably just go for Leech Seed again. However, he decides to go for Draining Kiss. Again, as I said, I thought he was going to go for Leech Seed again. Regardless, though, I figured I'd get up a Spike. I figured at this point I was guaranteed at least 1 Spike, probably 2. He just decides to kill me off Draining Kisses. So it was a little unfortunate, but I guess either way, I either died at Leech Seed plus Draining Kiss, or I died to 2 Draining Kisses. So it was essentially the same outcome, I guess. I recommend Mandibus here, however, because he's starting to get really low on his Comfey in terms of how much turns is left because it's toxic. So I decided that I can probably just go for a Roost and then Foul Play up next turn, as I thought he was going to go for Draining Kiss. He does not, and instead he goes for Flame Charge here. This was a little bit surprising to see because I thought he was going to be Banded Entei. However, this proves 100% he's not even Choice Entei. So this threw me off a little bit, but I knew if anything, I only took the hit better until he did burn me, which really sucked because my Foul Play is now not a 2-hit KO. It's going to be a 4-hit KO. I still beat this thing 1v1 regardless, because even if he's going for Sacred Fire, I can roost up on this because he's not banded with extreme ease. If he was banded, that would have done a hefty amount, but I also would have beaten this thing 1v1 anyway because the Foul Play is doing a lot more. So that's a thing. Luckily, though, I'm able to just roost up on this thing, and then I can beat it 1v1 with my Foul Plays. So that is very fortunate for me. He goes for Howl here, which means that my Foul Play is only going to do more damage. This makes it a 3-hit KO at this point, or I guess 3-hit KO from full, 2-hit KO from where it was at, instead of a 3-hit KO from where it was at. He does do a hefty amount with Stone Edge, though, which does end up actually sucking a lot, because since he did get all that damage off with the Stone Edge, I now essentially lose this thing to Haxorus, to be honest, which is very unfortunate. However, I decide here that I am going to just sack this thing off because I could potentially bring in Terrakion here and kill this off. And I figured maybe he's like a really bulky Haxorus, and I had speed anyway because I did also come to the realization that I was slow Terrakion. So I just have to come down to living the hit, and I do. And I live the hit, and I kill off the Haxorus. And I feel like I won the game until I remember that he has Comfey left. And Comfey has Triage, which gives his Draining Kiss priority, which means I just lost the game at this point. So had I run a fast Terrakion, I would have definitely won Draining Kiss, even with the -1 Spadef. And I could have Earthquake and kill this thing because of the toxic turns. So, very unfortunate. Running Rock Polish Terrakion was literally what lost me this game. I should have just ran Scarf Terrakion like I was originally thinking. However, of course, I think ultimately we'll be fine in terms of matchups. I don't think we were probably going to make playoffs anyway, especially not with our Week 5 game. Spoilers, I already played it. But that'll go up on Friday. So, we're probably out of playoffs anyway at this point. But I mean, I still also kind of want to get one win. And even then, our losses have been close, so I'm not overly mad about that. Because both of our losses the past 2 weeks, I believe, have been... I think Nick was like a 3-0 loss. It was either a 3-0 or 2-0. I honestly forget how big it was, but it wasn't that big of a loss. This was a 1-0 loss, obviously. So, I mean, I can still kind of bounce back, I guess, even being 1-3 right now. And then plus the game on Friday. But playoffs are probably very unlikely. As it's a 10-week season, so I'm already like halfway through games. But we'll still try. We'll see what happens. Worst comes to worst, we just fight to not get last place, and we can meme earlier in the season. So that'll be fun. But of course, if you guys do enjoy, leave a like down below. Next MPL game will be up on Friday on time. Tomorrow we will have a video for a new league going up, so you should check that out as well. Subscribe, of course, so you don't miss any content, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.